Welcome to a quick Lasius Flavus Care Guide with PJ, Ants England, Antymatters, and myself, Little Billy Bugs. So we have a few questions that we're going to answer very quickly so you guys can get on and ant keep. There is a 45-minute Lasius Flavus Care Guide that you'll see on the top right of your screen and also in the description if you need more information. Is the species suitable for beginners or experts? Or both?
Good for everyone. But then they're such a nice chill colony to have. So even if you're an expert keeper with like 50 colonies, they're a no hassle addition. So it's no more work. So everyone should have them.
And they don't even try to escape either. Like they just stay in their little box. Like
it's like, can't be bothered today. I think I'll stay where I am.
How large can a colony become?
absolutely massive.
Yeah, I really do think it's dependent on the queen numbers. So if you had if you bought a one queen colony, you're probably not going to get over 10,000 workers because they'll accept their own queens back. It's similar to Nigers. They start off slow, but once they get to over like 150, 200 workers, they just explode.
So how long does a queen live for?
Probably 25 years at least.
I don't think there's any like dead set research on it, but I'd assume the same as what Jake said, like 25 years.
Is the species claustral, semi-claustral, or dependent on assistance during founding?
Chuck it in a cupboard and leave it.
And then I
You don't-
disagree. I think you've got to feed them. They definitely eat in the wild all year round. And I think if you do feed them during founding, you get more workers earlier on and you get better sized workers earlier on. Protein feed them when they're very young, even if you only want to do it once a month.
But could you leave them?
Yeah.
What is the best setup for a founding queen? I guess the best setup with, if not most ants, is just a test tube and leave them alone. Make sure they got at least 2 inches of water.
Yeah, more water, the longer you can leave them then.
What temperature and humidity does the founding queen require?
Room temperature.
Humidity-wise, is whatever's in the test tube. Are there any common mistakes while founding?
Keeping them in one tube. But to be fair, I haven't had the issue myself. My queens, they got along just fine. But I know some people, if you've got a polygamous colony, you might want to have like a couple tubes so that if at any time any of the queens want to move a bit further away from another queen, like it's good to let them, because otherwise they can have fights and sometimes the Flavus queens will try to kill each other. What temperatures are ideal for healthy colony growth? Personally, 25.
Where they're so slow and they don't run around, they block off the water to the other workers. So once they get over 30 workers, your workers will just start dying if you don't give them another water source.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realise that.
What should the species be fed?
Rump steak.
Protein and sugar.
Basically what I give mine. Protein and sugar, I guess. And water.
Yeah.
But how often should they be fed protein?
Every day.
To be fair,
If
probably.
What carbohydrate sources work best?
Anything sugary, really, innit, with these girls?
Yeah, sugar, water.
I'm a big believer in the amount of brood they have is the amount of protein they should get, at least. Always have access to sugar.
Are they good display ants for observation?
Yeah, because they're yellow.
What is the biggest challenge when keeping the species?
I think people get bored of them. I think if people saw through the first 18 months with them, there would be so many more people that kept them.
What's the most common reasons these colonies fail?
People get bored of them in that
People
first.
get bored, yeah.
And I really think you need to feed them during hibernation.
What signs indicate the colony is unhealthy?
You'd only know that something's gone really wrong if, like, massive pile of dead bodies up somewhere.
How tolerant are these to beginner mistakes?
As long as you're giving them, well, as long as the mistake isn't, I forgot to give them water, they're fine. What changes in care are needed throughout the year?
They're less hungry in the winter, so they require more food in the summer.
When should the colony be moved into a larger nest?
Just going to say, like, you can push it quite far with the Flavus, a bit further than a lot of other species, because you can still manage, like, even with like 100 Flavus workers, you can still get the cotton off and stick in like a little bit of food and shut the cotton without a single Flavus getting like in the way, if you get what I mean.
What signs show that the colony has outgrown its setup?
When it's full.
When the tube is really golden, like a golden finger, like, but give them loads of time. don't rush them too much. Small increments of size increase.
Yeah.
Dry them out if there's like bad mold, and a lot of the time they'll clean it out.
How do you prevent mites and pests?
Don't feed them too much, so there's food lying around. Say this species too is not too susceptible to like mites. No one ever has like a mite problem. Maybe they're small enough to eat the mite.
I think it's like the harps and the trapjaws and things like that. They can't clean the mites off because of their jaws getting in the way. They can't clean the mites off them.
What should you do when workers start dying unexpectedly?
Check your water.
If you think that something's wrong, go back to basics. So make sure your water's good. Make sure your food's clean and it ain't been infected with anything. Make sure your sugar's not gone off. Rein it right back into the bare minimum basics of what you're meant to provide them. If the queen's walking around, like that's the sign that something's not right in the nest or that something's going on.
What should people look for when buying this species?
Price. They should be mega cheap because they're native. So, like, look at the price, and if they're like a fiver, be like, But if they're like a tenner, nah, because you could probably find them for like £3 somewhere if you're mega lucky or something, and buy like 10 of them.
Also, when buying, like not just for Flavus, but like think about when they've flown, and then so if you're buying them in March, April, they're last year's queens. So if they ain't got no workers, they're from the previous year and they've done nothing. So look at when the ant flies, how long it takes to get from egg to workers, and then if they hibernate and then you're buying them the following year, think, well, why ain't they got workers? Why am I buying them in April with no workers?
Yeah.
They're
Do that
not
with
fresh
birds.
queens.
What is your favourite thing about keeping this species?
They're so low maintenance, no hassle, don't try to skate.
As long as they got water, they'll be fine for at least a week.
Oh, easy.
My favourite thing is definitely their sense of smell, I think, too. Because, like, you'll put sugar in, and wherever they are in the nest, you see them all, like, line up with it. And then they're, like, heading straight for it. Like, and they can smell it, like, really well. Like, they have a really good sense of smell.
My favorite thing is just how like you can feed them different colored sugars and they'll be like little Christmas lights. They can be like colorful honey pots as well.
Who would enjoy keeping this species the most?
Everyone.
All right, if you had to rate this species out of 10, what would you give it and why?
I don't know, I'd 10 out of 10 them.
9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. 9 out of 10. That is the end of this quick guide for Lasius Flavus. I hope you guys got some decent information and this helps your Flavus. If you want the 45-minute long version, the link is in the description. Go ahead and watch it, and it's got basically all of this and much, much more. As always, please remember to like, comment any tips for your Flavus, and we'll see you in the next one.